Some ghosts stay behind because they died too soon. Others, because justice was never served. But what about a ghost who was guilty? A woman? A nurse? A mother? She didn't save lives. She ended them. And now they say she's trapped in the place where she took her final breath. Not as a victim, but as a killer. This is the story of Daisy Louisa de Melker, South Africa's most infamous female murderer, and the ghost of Pretoria Central Prison. Daisy de Melker was born in 1886 in Cape Town, one of 11 children, not rich, not particularly special. She trained as a nurse, a career that suited her quiet, controlled nature. In 1909, she married a man named William Cowell. They had a son, Rhodes, a fragile boy, often sick. At first glance, Daisy was the image of normality, but behind that calm exterior, something else was growing. Her first husband died in 1923. Cause of death? Cerebral malaria, they said. Her second husband, Sidney Crossley, died in 1927. Cause? Gastroenteritis. Violent, sudden, suspicious. Then, in 1932, her son, Rhodes, just 20 years old, fell terribly ill. Doctors were puzzled. The symptoms were strange. Spasms, convulsions. His body twisted in agony. He died after drinking a cup of coffee prepared by his mother. Sound familiar? Authorities began to dig. Exhumations were ordered. Tests were run. What they found shocked the nation. Strychnine, a poison known for its horrific convulsive effects, was found in Rhodes's body, and in Daisy's house, enough poison to kill a dozen men. The deaths of her husbands? Reopened? The money from life insurance policies? Questioned. The story exploded. A female serial killer? In the 1930s, South Africa? It was unheard of. She was arrested, charged, and brought to trial. The public called her the Black Widow of Berea. Tabloids feasted on her image, the cold-eyed nurse who poisoned her son. Her trial was one of the biggest events of its time. Courtroom packed. Journalists from across the country. Witnesses called. Doctors, neighbors, pharmacists. She stood silent most of the time, calm, calculated, unshaken. Her defense argued she was being framed, that the evidence was circumstantial. But the jury wasn't convinced. Convicted. The judge's voice echoed through the halls. You will be taken to a place of execution, and there hanged by the neck until you are dead. On the morning of December 30th, 1932, Daisy was taken to the gallows of Pretoria Central Prison. Reports say she walked calmly, head held high. No screams, no crying, just cold silence. The noose was placed around her neck, and in moments, Daisy de Melker became the first South African woman to be executed under the Union of South Africa's legal system. Her body was buried in an unmarked grave, but many believe her spirit never left. It began with whispers. Guards heard crying echoing from the old women's wing long after it was empty. Then, the footsteps, slow, deliberate, down the halls where no one was stationed. One guard claimed he saw a figure in a nurse's uniform, standing in the shadows of the execution chamber. When he called out, she vanished into the wall. In the old death row block, lights flicker when no one is near. CCTV has picked up shadows moving between the cells. And in cell 17, where Daisy was held the night before her execution, the temperature drops drastically after midnight. Visitors report feeling watched, followed, touched. One medium claimed her spirit was furious, but proud. So what kind of ghost is Daisy? Some believe she's filled with regret, bound to the prison by the weight of her sins. Others say she's unrepentant, reliving her final victory. One last act of control over her surroundings. Some even think she's still searching, looking for someone. Perhaps her son, perhaps her next victim. Whatever the case, paranormal investigators describe her energy as cold, intelligent, and deliberate. Not lost, but lingering. Today, Pretoria Central Prison, now called Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Center, still stands. Most parts are modernized, but the old gallows block remains, closed to the public, locked behind iron gates, forgotten by time. But sometimes, late at night, when the halls are quiet, you can still hear a woman weeping. And once in a while, a guard will swear he saw a nurse moving silently past the bars. No footsteps, no breathing, just a flicker of white and the faint smell of poison. This was the story of Daisy de Melker, South Africa's first female serial killer, and perhaps its most chilling ghost. Was she a monster hiding in plain sight, or a misunderstood woman destroyed by a cruel world? Whatever you believe, if you ever visit the old execution wing and feel a cold hand brush your arm, you'll know she's still there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who loves dark South African history.